morning.
Good morning. Hello, everyone.
This is Sammy and Bonnie with Embroidery Library. Sammy is going to interview me
I
about
am.
Embossed while we're talking about these.
Can any skill, what's a skill level that you'd have to use to do
So,
embossed?
okay, so the thing about Embossed,
Mhm.
it's for any skill level.
Get
It's,
out.
Yeah, if you're a beginner, there's not a lot of lining up issues with this, or, your tension being off is not going to throw you off because there's not like different shapes that are
Yeah.
trying to, line up with each other. So if you're new, it doesn't matter what color you use. You can use whatever colors you got. It might look strange, but just do
Live
it.
your life.
But then if you're advanced and you want to try crazy fabrics, you want to try faux fur, you want to try like minky or high loft, anything. Like this is so great for anybody to use.
So tell us a little bit more about variegated thread.
Oh, everybody loves to use variegated on these. So the variegated, as it stitches out, it spreads the color variation over a broader area. Where like if you do variegated on satin stitches, it'll look like very stripy. It's good to experiment.
Yeah.
Because some of the variegated, the color switch off between like light and dark is closer together. So then you get the more like just softer blending. But when it's like a lot of dark green and then a lot of light green, then you get the plaid look. We learned a thing with variegated thread. We don't have it to show you, but if you're trying to look at a spool, you might not see all the colors in the thread. So we learned a tip to shop from the top. Okay, so you take that cone of thread and you look at it, not at the side like you normally would, but you look at it top down and you can see all the different colors easier.
Think like a sculptor. Tell me more.
Okay, so when we are making these designs, we are trying to think about sculpting with this open space, or this is called like negative space in art. So it's where there's nothing going on is actually where all the action is in the embossed world. So you're trying to leave space for the main object. And so it's a challenge. We're trying to think of how can we make this look like a three-dimensional lamb where the wool is popping out. So we're thinking like where do we press in? Where do we have it pop forward? So it's really sort of, you're thinking three-dimensionally when you're designing these so that it has the coolest effect in the end.
Simple is sometimes a lot harder than complex to design.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Okay. Because when you are digitizing something complex,
Yeah.
you can hide a lot of crazy in it because you are just like, it's all just part of the shading or the flourishes or whatever.
Okay.
And when it's very simple, there's nowhere to hide any bad decisions or design problems. Like this is just, you
Out
see
in
it,
the open.
what you see is what you get.
Well,
And you've got to have it perfect everywhere. And it's also hard to get these to like really work in the simplicity that they've got. You've got very little to hide any composition issues or any like areas that are too small. Like they will stand out. So we work really hard to make sure we've got big enough areas open here. And even like these more delicate designs where you've got like the greenery. It's always an interesting situation. Here are some fun, like a lighthouse with variegated.
This is part of the new pack.
What is the smallest hoop size we designed for embossing? We have some older 4x4 designs. When we started doing this style that's more of like a scene, we actually don't usually do 4x4s for these because some of them we do, but I would say they're harder to shrink down because you're really trying to keep the open space as big as possible.
What is the biggest challenge?
Oh, yes. Well, yeah, you can't really shrink it because you're trying to keep things open. It's also hard to have like areas in the middle that are open for reasons that are way too nerdy to get into. But there's all kinds of just things that we learn as we go. And mainly it's about like how it works once it's on the fabric because you don't fully know until you test it.
Yeah.
Like you can think that you know, but you don't.
You don't
and then
know.
you learn by doing every time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm missing anything. I do want to put those summer ones back out because we didn't show those as long. Okay, let's talk about what has everybody loved other people stitching embossed on.
Yeah.
I saw somebody do like a kid's quilt in Minky, and they had a whole bunch of different animals in little just blocks on the quilt. I love them on like fleece or plush sweatshirt situations. Look at this dog. This dog is amazing. This dog is living for the summer.
Yeah, he is. Oh,
Both
Becky
of them
has a great
are.
question.
But yes, if you have any other embossed questions, if you're watching this later, we will keep watching the comments.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody.
Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
for joining us.